Hey, what's good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I is, the good doc, Dr. Mike, back again, once again, with another classic video, confessional video for you guys today. But if this is your first time watching the Dr. Mike TV video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you notify. Definitely make sure you look at everything listed in the link in the description area below to reach out to the good doc. And also, if you guys want to get the ebooks that are off the chain, they're in the linked in the description area below. You do not want to sleep on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, it is confession time today. All right, has the good doc given up on dating women in the West or women from the Western world? Question mark that shit right there, okay? I'm gonna give you a little bit of history, a little bit of mythology on the good doc so you know exactly where he stands as a man in reference to that particular question. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna tell you exactly where this all comes from and where it all stems from. As a child, I think that I was always prone to liking or having a general interest and attraction to Asian women. I will not say that Asian women are my #1 preference overall, but I will honestly say that even at a young age, I could tell that I've had a natural attraction to Asian women, okay? My first ever Asian experience came when I moved to Okinawa, Japan. My dad, military kid, you know how it goes. We lived in Okinawa, Japan. Okay, I told this story before on a video that's lost in the files, the lost files of Dr. Mike TV on the channel. You would have to scroll through a lot of videos to find it. So let me go ahead and give you the rundown. Okay, I moved to Japan, Okinawa specifically, when I was 10 years old. That's 3rd grade for me. Okay, went on school. We went, you know, to the American school on base and all of that stuff. And of course, my classmates were black, they were white, Hispanic, you name it, they were in the classroom. One Asian girl. The only one Asian girl in the class was the girl that I was attracted to. The one Asian girl in the class was the one that I was attracted to. I won't tell you her name, but she was a cutie, boy, I swear to God, man. I wonder whatever happened to her, but that's neither here nor there. But that's where it all started for me. That was my attraction. I mean, I'm talking about, you remember how we used to have Valentine's Day and you used to give people them little candy hearts and shit, and you know, you used to give them the little cards and shit with a little piece of candy on it. Fuck nah, that girl got a box of chocolate from me. So the boy was trying to put in that work, you feel me? To get that little Asian girl. Sorry, that was my thing. Can't help it. So as we fast forward, my next Asian experience came when I actually visited my people in the Philippines my junior year of high school. After that, I just coasted through my senior year. I said, I ain't fucking with none of these girls. I ain't fucking with none of them. Fuck it, I already know where I'm gonna end up at, so I don't care. I'm gonna make my money working this fast food job that I had. And I was just going to the Philippines. I said, fuck it, I already had my plan. I was good to go. I ain't even think about no other girl. I did try to date this one Korean girl that was in our class, graduating class. Her name was Lydia. Thought she was cute. And in hindsight, when I look back at it, chances are the only reason that I thought she was cute was because, drum roll please, she was Asian. She was Korean. So, you know, it kind of seems to have followed me throughout my whole entire life, okay? So, when I think about it and people ask me, or the common misconception is that Dr. Mike has given up on dating women from the West. Not just African-American women, not just white girls and shit like that, but they think that I've given up on dating women in the West, period. That can be an Asian girl from the West or anything like that. And that's actually highly inaccurate. And I want to tell you why that's inaccurate. Because I'm the type of person that believes that you are, from this particular instance only, you are a product of your environment or a product of the environment in which you immerse yourself into, okay? Now, yes, I do admit that there was probably an attraction to Asian women at a young age. Like I told you my story. But imagine this. You live amongst Filipino people for 10 years. Are you not naturally, highly likely, the high probability that you're going to possibly maybe date a girl that is Filipino, or in a sense Filipina? Isn't that kind of an accurate correlation, for lack of a better term? Is that not an accurate correlation that you're likely going to date a Filipina if you live in the Philippines? That's kind of how I see it. And like I said, I lived amongst them for a long time, and I've grown to love the country, and I've learned to love the culture as well as the people and also the Filipino women that come with it. All right. So because of that, people think that, man, Mike talks about dating Filipino women, so he's like, fuck women in the West. I did have a live stream that said, "Dear Western women, here is why your men are leaving." I have since blocked that video because at the end of the day, it was old, and I don't really keep up my live streams for a very long period of time. I just block them and let them go, as they tend to fade away and other live streams come along. So at the end of the day, I made the assessment that as far as American men are concerned, or as far as men in the West are concerned, and, you know, choosing to deal with women in the East, I was making the statements that, you know, the rules in the United States, or the rules in the Western world, are highly against men. Like, we have no rights, to be honest. I feel like men in the West have no rights. I mean, everything the women gets, you know, fuck, you name it. There are very few rights for us as men. So because of that, and because of dealing with women who know that that is accurate, it poses a issue whenever arguments come about. It poses an issue with divorce and alimony and all of that shit that I know nothing about, and I pray I never do. You understand? It poses the question that men are choosing to go their own way, otherwise known as MGTOW. And I understand people who choose that type of mentality, and I understand that many of those men have been fucked over. They have definitely been through the ringer, and they're just like, you know what, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Like, they don't want to do it anymore. And, you know, if you lose a lot of money, in hindsight, let's say you lose a lot of money to the woman in the court system, not only does she get your money, but your lawyer's getting your money too, just by working your case. You understand? So he's still getting paid. So you realize all the money that you stand to lose. Why not take my ass to the Philippines, wherein if I ever find myself in the same situation, the money I stand to lose would probably fail in comparison to the money that I would lose when dealing with a woman from a Western world. I got a comment one time from a subscriber. He told me to talk about this, and we did briefly. He was like, you know, all of these guys talk about Filipinos are scammers and all of that shit. I said, but at the end of the day, if you deal with certain women in the West, you say, you know, if they are as materialistic as the woman in the Philippines, you know, they're gonna want the new car, they're gonna want the nice clothes and all of that stuff. So if you talk about spending $100,000 for all of these accessories per se for the woman in the West, and you weigh it against the 100,000 pesos that you would spend on a woman in the East, you start to see, you know, I can't get my hands in the shit, but you start to see that this shit right here, the West, is always going to cost you more. So a lot of men are choosing to do that because if they're going to take a loss, why not make it a minor loss instead of a major loss? You understand? And for those that don't know, 100,000 pesos is equivalent to about $2,000 at the rate of 50 to $1. Just in case you guys aren't familiar with that conversion rate. So, you know, I understand why men are choosing to do that, but my reason for choosing to date women in the West, or I'm sorry, women in the East, is because that's where I lived. You understand? That's where I came from. That's where I became the man that I am today, living over there. You understand? So I feel like that is where my core essence belongs. Like, that's where my heart belongs. Now, I've been around women in the West since I've been back home and stuff like that. And they are just fantastic people. I'm not gonna front, like, I've been around some people that are just really good to be around, like positive energy and all of that stuff. And it is a refreshing situation at times, because when you deal with Filipinas and women in the Philippines, sometimes the broken English may be hard to understand. So sometimes it is refreshing to be around people that speak perfect English, and you can have conversations, you can tell your jokes and people will get them. You know, you can slide slide in the DMs and you can do stuff like that. Those are things about the West that really make us as men like, feels good to be back. But ultimately, when you start to realize that, you know, things may or may not be working out with the young lady that you may be talking to in the Western world, you start to see a trend of things going one way, you know, the whole feminism. I'm gonna say that lightly. Feminism, you know, that shit starts to come out. You know, that manly, I'm gonna whoop your ass like a man type shit start to come out. It's a turnoff, ladies. Sorry, it's a big turnoff. Ain't nothing worse than a woman trying to fucking buck at me like she's a man. The fuck is wrong with you? That's what I tell them. Like, what the fuck is your problem, bitch? Like, for real. No disrespect, but that's just not what I'm into. And again, ladies, if you want to know the reason why men are choosing to do that, that's one of the reasons, okay? Don't let what you see on TV fool you. Don't let this, I'm proud to be a woman and all these men are trying to suppress me and I ain't taking that shit no more. Ladies, relax. Relax. Relax on that shit. Trust me. Your men, us men in general, we know your worth, okay? Let's keep it real. Now, again, to be honest with you, a little bit of insight on me. I was a nerd in school, man. I wasn't a nerd, but I will say that I wasn't being checked by a lot of women either. I think there were a couple of girls interested in dating me, but you know what's funny? And this is something that we never talk about, but I hope that you guys make it to this part of the video because it's funny as hell and it's real as hell. We always tend to look at the women that don't want us, but the ones that do want us, we overlook. So in hindsight, we're over here trying to get at this chick, and then we got a girl over here trying to get with us. We in the middle with our fucking arrow pointing this way, and other girls are pointing their arrow at us and we're not giving them the attention that they deserve, which is funny. You can find these girls are very interested in you, but you're not interested in her because she's not your type. You understand? But this girl is your type, but again, you're not her type. So you start to see that we find ourselves interested in dating women that kind of, sort of don't want us back. And then the ones that do want us, we overlook. And I learned that about myself a long time ago, which is why Dr. Mike has become an equal opportunist. During my heyday, ladies and gentlemen, during the good doc's heyday, you could not tell me shit. You couldn't tell me nothing. I'm gonna tell you right now. Because Mike was an equal opportunist, you understand? God always said, man, well, God didn't say it, but my father always told me, man, the opportunity presents itself and it's an opportunity that you want. You better take it while the getting's good, because at the end of the day, sometimes them shits don't come back around twice. Opportunities very rarely come back around a second time, so when you have the opportunity to get it in, get it done, take care of it in the moment, man. Don't try to push it off until tomorrow. Tomorrow may not come. You understand? Tomorrow, shit, you could have had it last night. Now you want it tonight? Psh, I'm over you now. You had your chance, motherfucker. You missed it. You understand? So I learned that about myself as well as a man living in the Philippines and a man living amongst the world in itself. I like to consider myself a man of the world. I'm not just a man of the Western world. I'm not just a man, a foreigner in the Philippines or anything like that. I like to consider myself a man of the world. And in hindsight, no. I have never given up on women in the Western world. Like I said, I've met some awesome people. I've met people that have genuinely made an impact on my life in a way that I never thought that they would. In hindsight, they didn't even come from the Western world. That's the funny part. They are nothing more than people who have moved to the United States too. So, I think about it like that. So maybe my heart is somewhere not in the Philippines. Somewhere not in a Western world. You feel me? Or a world where it is, manipulated by media that tells people that this is the way it needs to be and this is the way it's gonna be. And because I am no longer a man of that world, you have no idea how free I am. Because I've seen different parts of the world, I don't accept shit from nobody. If you've never traveled, you accept a lot of shit. You accept a woman fucking trying to berate you and talk down to you. You accept all the bullshit that comes with being with women. And sometimes you accept playing stepdaddy, and you accept being a provider for a woman that doesn't want to do for herself. Sometimes you accept all of this unnecessary bullshit. I don't have to do that anymore. Like I said, I'm cool. You want to act ratchet, you want to be the Cardi B's of the world, you want to be like the Nicki Minaj's of the world, you want to be like any of these bitches that show their ass in public and shit. That's what you want to be? I'll laugh at you first and then I'll walk away. Trust me, I don't have to fuck you. That's the funny part. I don't have to and I don't want to. I said I got greener pastures. Way over there, ladies. I have a greener pasture. To the right or to the left, whatever it is. Somewhere over there, motherfucker. I got greener pastures over there. And in hindsight, that's the way that I live my life from here on out. And I think every man should do that. And this isn't my video encouraging men to travel the world. This is just me addressing a common misconception. I fuck with women from all over the world. Y'all don't understand. I truly do. I'm off the market. Let's keep it real. Like, but I don't, I'm not the type of person that says, oh, I'm only going to date Filipinos and Filipinos only. I'm not the type of person that says, I'm only going to date this particular race of women and be done with it. But then again, let's talk about what's real and let's talk about, in hindsight, how you can, not necessarily myself, but how people can perceive you as a race traitor because you choose to date women that are not your own. I love African American women. Love them to death. Matter of fact, I want to go to Africa so bad, it tickles my pickle. And if you guys are going to leave, take your ass back to Africa comments in my comment section. I'm going to delete them because that's kind of an old joke. Just be professional and stop being stupid, okay? But yes, that has always been on my list of places to go. I got my yellow fever shot. I'm good to go, people. I already got my shit. So if ever I wanted to go, I can make it happen. Just got to get the money right. You know how we do. Got to make sure the funds match the freedom that we ever so rightfully deserve as men of the world, okay? But in hindsight, like I'm telling you, I love women from my own race. I would never turn my back on the women from my own race. I just can't help that the woman that I fell in love with, or the women that I fell in love with, just so happens to be of an other race than my own. That's the best way for me to say it. I can't help it that in the moment, the woman that I'm choosing to be with is just not my own race. You understand? That's what I'm gonna tell you. I can't help that. That's just the way it is. Like they say, you can't help who you love. You know what I'm saying? You can't get mad at people who choose to like persons of the same sex, because at the end of the day, they can't help who they love. Same with me. I can't help that I love somebody outside of my own race. So I want you to understand the common misconception that people have about me is that I've turned my back on women from the West is highly inaccurate. I just choose to date women that I vibe with, that I connect with, that I communicate with. That's not going to give me a headache down the line when it comes to dealing with feminism and all of that other shit. You understand? I know I'm not going to get that headache with what I'm with. Because at the end of the day, if I do get that headache with who I'm with, at the end of the day, what did I tell you guys before? Kick rocks, man, and find you another one. That's the way the game goes. And if you want to keep a man, ladies, you gotta be a part of the team, man. Stop trying to do all that extra shit. And I know nobody gives a fuck about what I have to say because I'm not the prettiest motherfucker on the planet. Everybody be like, don't nobody want your ugly black ass anyways. Yeah, I know. And that's okay. If you don't want me, I am perfectly fine with that. You want to know why? Because I found somebody who did. And I found women who would actually consider giving my ugly black ass a chance. And because of that, there ain't shit you can do. And it's funny. When you don't want to fuck with a man, it seems that ladies don't want to fuck with a dude until he actually finds himself with somebody else. Now all of a sudden, you want to come around and slide in my DMs and send me text messages. It's like, oh, hey, how you been? Nah, I'm good, baby. You ain't got to say 2 words to me. I'm straight. I'm living my life over here. And a lot of you guys know I'm the mean one. You know her. That's all I'm going to tell you. You know her. You've seen her. If you haven't seen her, you better find a way to see her. You better ask somebody. I'm good. I'm legit. So, I say that to say this, ladies and gentlemen. The Good Doc has not turned his back on women in the West. I just so happen to find a lady in the East. There you go. That's how we're going to end it. But that being said, the Good Doc is officially out. I've talked too much. At least no, which means I'm going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Mahal kita. Bye-bye. Peace.